If you had to pick 1 week out of the entire year to hunt, when would it be? I'm Taylor Drury, and this is another throwback edition of DoD TV.
This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Leupold. Be relentless.
Retired DoD veteran Jeff Probst has been hunting with my dad and Uncle Terry for years. Some years ago, Jeff and his son Chris would make a lifetime of memories all in 1 week. Let's see what they have in store for us.
Well, this is the week we've been waiting for. Today is November the 4th. We've been waiting all year to hunt this week here. And unfortunately, it's a little warm. It's almost 50 degrees, but deer have been starting to move good. We've been hearing some guys killing some good bucks, so we're headed out. We got our fingers crossed. Man, I talked to Mark Drury last night, and he said the bucks are really moving. So I finally got a few days off to get out and hunt, so we're gonna get after them this morning. Hope old big one comes by. Well, the first morning, November the 4th, we got into our stand. This particular spot, we needed a west wind, a predominant west wind, to really make this place work. It'll work on a northwest, it'll work on a southwest, but straight west is just ideal for this particular spot, and we had it. Well, we sat there most of the morning, and when you know it, I looked up, and Chris and I were watching. We kept seeing something move to the south. Here come a really big female bobcat and 2 kittens, and we got a little bit of footage of her, but not a whole lot, but it was just really cool to get to see a bobcat.
That's pretty neat. Just had 3 bobcats come by. Hardly ever see a bobcat, just seen 3 of them.
You know, the neat thing about where we hunt is we hunt very close to the Missouri border, and we got a pretty good game plan this week. We're gonna hunt Iowa in the mornings, and Chris has got a Missouri tag to hunt Missouri in the afternoon. So that first morning we seen those bobcats, that was about it, and it was a pretty uneventful day actually for the 4th of November. And we headed down into Missouri to start Missouri hunting in the evening. And the evening hunt in Missouri was pretty much a bust. Just the only thing we seen both sets, morning and evening, was those 3 bobcats. Talking about some bad luck. It's 10 after 6 on November 4th. We're headed back to the house. We come over a hill here, and big old buck run out of this cornfield, and we hit him. That's what's left of his rack. About 140-inch deer. Came out, hit my trailer, tore my trailer all up. Can't find him. Went up everywhere. I don't know where he went. Sad way for a buck to lose his rack.
That's a big deer.
It's a great deer. I can't believe that. Here we didn't see anything all night on the stand. We come out here and we hit a big one on the highway. Man, poor deer. I hope it didn't kill him. Sure give him a headache though. Look at that. We live by this thing with deer season. It's a weather band radio.
The cold front is expected to push across the area on Friday morning.
Cold front coming. That's what we need.
Low in the lower 50s. High in the upper 60s. West wind 5 to 10
Where we
miles
go?
an hour, shifting to the north in the afternoon.
We got back to the house, and wouldn't you know it, I was listening to my weather radio, and wouldn't you know it, the weatherman told me the words I wanted to hear. We were going to have a west wind on the 6th.
Yahoo!
Well, November 6th came, and sure enough, we got up that morning. I looked at the flagpole, and the flag was due out of the west. I knew exactly where we were going.
It's November the 6th here in the Midwest, prime time. We finally got a west wind. We need to hunt this spot. Hunting a big ditch. It's a transition area between feed and bed. There's a heavy trail down in here. Tracks meandering all through here. From right here down to the bottom of this draw, there's probably a dozen big rubs as big as my arm. Some of them are as big as my leg. So we know there's a good buck traveling this draw. Never shot him. I was trying to stay off his shoulder. I hit him just a little bit back. But he's hurt real bad. He's staggering over there. He was barely standing. Man, I'll tell you what, I looked up and he was right there.
He was on us so quick. We got very little footage of it. I just wish we could have got some more footage of him, but he pops in, he's 17 yards away. I make the shot, and I wasn't happy when I seen where the arrow struck him. You know, typical of a liver shot deer, he just, you know, he didn't go down immediately like a double long shot, but he looked to be in pretty bad shape, and I didn't think he was gonna make it very far.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's November the 6th, and I just shot what could be the biggest deer of my life. Unfortunately, I hit him back just a little bit. He was about 17 yards. We're gonna give him a couple hours before we even crawled out. We're gonna get out of here and come back this afternoon. I don't want to take any chances. I want to give him plenty of time to expire. I'll tell you what, I'm nervous. I wished I would have double lunged him, but I didn't. I know I didn't. But that happens. That's bow hunting. I just gotta make sure I take my time.
You know, we made the decision. I told Chris, I said, we're gonna stay in this tree for 2 or 3 hours and give him some time, because my fear was when we crawled out of the tree, he was gonna spot us and see us crawling down and jump up and run off, and I wanted to give him plenty of time to expire before we even thought about getting out of that tree stand.
We climbed down real quiet. As soon as I got down to the ground, I walked about 5 yards to the right of the tree, and I could see him laying over there. I don't think he's getting up. When you shoot a deer through the liver like this, you gotta give him plenty of time. I don't want to take a chance. We're gonna ease out of here.
The deer looked like he was down for good, but we wanted to play it safe, so we just tiptoed out of there, and we were gonna give him a few hours.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and look for him. It's 1:30. I shot the deer at 10 to 8. It's been almost 6 hours. Time we get down here and slip in here, it'll be 6 hours. So we seen the deer laying over on the hillside, but I want to make sure he's dead before we go in here. So hit him back a little bit. I don't know exactly if I got a lung or just the liver. So we're gonna slip on in there, see what happens. I think we're okay. There he is, right up there. See him? I don't even walk up on him. Here, I will. Hold on. Dude, he's a monster. Here he is right there. He didn't go anywhere. This is the day you dream about as a deer hunter.
Dude, that is a monster. Good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. That is a Boone Crockett deer right there, buddy. That deer is Boone all day long, gross. I guarantee it.
Well, we walk up on this deer, and Chris and I are just ecstatic. I treasure this day for the rest of my life, and I knew at this moment this would probably, without question, be the biggest deer that him and I will ever take the rest of our lives together.
What do you think?
I'm jealous. That's awesome.
I guarantee you one thing, I'd give him back for you to kill him.
No.
Yes, I would.
Don't get that way on me.
Wow, would you look at this great big buck. I'll tell you what, this is without question the biggest deer I've ever killed in my life. You know, I come in here this morning and hunt this spot, and I was just hoping to shoot a nice, respectable, at least a 3 or 4 year old deer, at least a 3-year-old I was hoping for. And, you know, I don't have a lot of time to hunt this time of year with my work. I'm really busy, and little did I just didn't dream I'd see one like this come through. I mean, this is a monster deer. I mean, he's got points everywhere. He's got huge webbing mass here on his beam. It almost simulates a moose horn right here on this webbing. Big palmation, all kind of points. I think I counted 15 scoreable points. He's got one broke here, or he would have had 10 on the left. Just what a buck. I am just tickled to death. I told my son, he's running the camera, I said, we got to soak this up because this is probably the best deer we'll ever take together the rest of our lives. This is a beauty. You know, to take a deer of this caliber and to do it with a bow and to do it with your son in the tree stand with you is just an absolutely unbelievable experience. Something I'll cherish and I'll be thankful for the rest of my life.
He should have passed him. Let's see what he could have been next year.
And you know, the neat thing about it is he's got a Missouri tag, and we're going to roll back into Missouri tomorrow. And hopefully we can continue on. I mean, just an incredible day for us, and we just can't wait to get back in the woods tomorrow morning.
Well, it's November the 7th. I killed my big buck yesterday. I'm gonna get Christopher out of bed. We're gonna get after it this morning. Hopefully he can kill one in Missouri. So we had a big day yesterday. I gotta get him up, get him out of bed. Sleeping Beauty. Okay, it's your turn to hunt, bud. You ready to go?
Yeah.
How about yesterday?
Yesterday was awesome.
Huh?
Yesterday was awesome.
Great day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We need to duplicate that today.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
On the morning of November 7th, we had a south wind. Really was kind of unusual for early part of November, but it was actually the coolest morning we'd had. We had a south wind. We knew what set we were going to. We were going to the Oak Ridge set.
Today is the 7th of November. Yesterday, we hunted. My dad killed a pretty decent buck. I mean, he's okay. But the funny thing is we were gonna hunt this set yesterday, and we ended up going to Iowa. But I'm back in the saddle now.
Tell you what, getting in the set that morning, just watching the sun come up, it was cool, calm, turkeys were yelping. Just a great day to be in the woods.
You know you're in northern Missouri when you hear all these turkeys yelping. It sounds like we're on a turkey farm or something. It's great. It's shaping up to be a beautiful morning. The sun's coming up. We'll kill one this morning.
When you know it, when he stops behind this big tree, Chris makes the shot, and unfortunately I didn't get the arrow impact, but you can kind of tell what happened. I mean, he got behind a big tree, and so many times when you're filming in the timber, that happens. I mean, you're trying to communicate with the hunter as a cameraman, and sometimes you get your wires crossed, you just don't hear each other talking. But all in all, it was a great hunt. He made a good shot on it.
You know, I shot that deer about 35 minutes ago. We're gonna go ahead and climb down, go take a look at the scene and see if there's some blood. I know there was blood pumping out of him when he ran. When I shot him, I hit him just a little bit high, but blood was pumping out pretty good. In my mind, the deer's dead right now. I either got high lung or I hit that carotid. But we're gonna climb down and go over there and look at the scene, see if we can see some blood. And we'll make a decision from there.
Look at the blood here. You can't be far.
There's a foot.
Yes! Oh, God.
I tell you what, you can't say enough about November. This deer came in, and he wouldn't come in, so I started grunting at him, snort wheezing, and he finally kind of worked his way in, but a doe came up, started feeding acorns, and he just kind of followed her in. The amazing thing is, the doe came right past us, but the buck, as they always do when you call to them, it seems like they go to the downwind side. And that's exactly what this deer did. He went downwind. He started getting downwind. The doe was already downwind. She was 10 yards to the right of us. And he came in and we stood there for a while. And I finally got a shot at him. I'm shooting a Hoyt Ultratech, and God, I just love it. And what a deer. I'm so pumped. This is my biggest buck of my life. Look at him. That's awesome. What a pig. Big 4-year-old deer. Can't say enough. Big Missouri monster. That's awesome. After all the excitement of killing a deer, we finally got him up on the four-wheeler, which was probably the biggest hassle. This was a huge body deer. And I grabbed the camera and was sitting on the back of the four-wheeler and got some cool footage driving out of the deer, strapped on the front seat with my dad, and just an awesome day to be in the woods. And it was just one of those days you dream about as a deer hunter. I mean, 2 big bucks back to back in 2 days.
Boy, you know, as a father, there's none better for me. We spent 3 or 4 days hunting together. We'd seen several deer, and we both shot the best deer of our lives. And I was fortunate enough to shoot that 195 buck in Iowa, and I'll probably never ever top that. And having Chris there with me, and then going into the next day and getting his buck, it was just an unbelievable 2 days for us.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the brain of a whitetail buck that gets him up and on the move? Well, we've cracked that code and are delivering it to you in the DeerCast app, a revolution in deer movement forecasting. Available now for iOS and Android. Get ahead of your game with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Mossy Oak.